Welcome to Chillin' with c.bo. I'm your host, c.bo, and JJ Watt just got released in the Texans.
On my
Hey.
end, really quick, it sounded like, "Hi, welcome to c.bo," because Skype likes to just chug its way through our conversations.
I am actually using Skype on the browser now. I'm not using the application. The application like screwed me over.
Do you find that it works cleaner?
Yes.
Huh. Tip to all you guys out there using Skype, I guess.
Well, at least for my computer, because I know Pedro and Y, you seem to not have problems with Skype, right?
Not at all.
Because we have Macs,
Yeah. All right.
like normal people.
Yeah, it's like half of the
Yes.
population.
60% of Apple's audience is in America. Just saying. Or no. It's 20% of the world uses Apple products, and 60% of that 20% is in America. That's my fun fact of the day.
So y'all are minorities.
Yeah, bro.
20%.
Get with the world.
Juan, how you doing, man?
Not bad, not bad. Looking at I just had a couple of movie news just popped up on my feed just now. So like, the first one I think is sad, but also like kind of like how could you miss this? Which was when Kevin Hart had $1 million from him stolen by his personal shopper.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the second one is there's gonna be a sequel to the John Travolta Nicolas Cage classic Face Off.
I want to take his face off.
Oh, yeah.
I
I can't believe they're making a sequel to this. I thought didn't Cage die?
Can any of you guys do a Nick Cage impersonation?
No, I can't.
Can we? I have to think. All I can think of. Go steal the Declaration of Independence. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head of what Nicolas Cage says.
You guys do good walking impressions, but
we can work on Nicolas Cage.
It's just that you need to match the energy level of Nicolas Cage. And
that's high praise.
And outside of Andy Samberg, there's no way I can meet that.
Honestly, that's what I'm thinking about right now in terms of trying to do the impression. I'm thinking of what Andy Samberg.
Can you do walking, sing? I want to take his face off.
I want to take his face off.
That's pretty good. I feel like good with the one. I don't need. I can't top it.
Yeah, in that version of Face Off, it's Christopher Walken and Jon Voight.
My God.
Would that be a better movie?
I don't know, but I'd be the first to watch it though.
Could you imagine Face Off, but with the same energy Nick Cage brought to it, but replace him with Christopher Walken? Christopher Walken has to imitate Nick Cage's energy for that movie.
I can see it. I mean, he was so good in Seven Psychopaths in terms of energy and delivery. I think he could do it in Face Off.
Come on, shoot me!
Get out
of the way! I don't wanna.
I don't want.
Oh my God.
But yeah, to answer your question, man, yes, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well.
Well, you, Pedro, how you doing, man?
Good, exhausted. Woke up at 6 to go to Paramus, only to find out I wasn't needed. So I feel like I've just completely wasted my morning and my brother's morning because he helped wake me up. Thank you, Pablo.
No problem.
But other than that, I'm doing well. I'm catching up with my homework. I am on top of everything I need to be on top of, and yeah, I'm just happy all around.
What about you, Cap Jack? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I just watched our movie for the day. No one's home, so I'm all by myself. And
that's awesome.
It's really weird.
It's weird because then you see Jared Leto behind you, and then he's not.
I guess we're gonna go right into it. We watched The Little Things starring Denzel, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto, 3 Academy Award winners headlining this movie. So I guess I'm going to start off with Pedro, since you sent your opinion, but I didn't listen to it yet. So Pedro, what did you think of The Little Things?
The Little Things tell the story of obsession and how uh, and how a person can be driven to their absolute wits end in the form of Denzel Washington. Now, Denzel Washington's character, his obsession with bringing this guy to justice and doing it for the victims, the girls, that it's noble at first until you realize what really happened and why he's doing what he's doing. And to see him, and then to see him pull down Rami Malek's character into this abyss of insanity is just phenomenal. It just, like, the acting from Denzel's side is great. Like, but it's his typecast kind of character, like he plays these kind of morally corrupt, passionate people who stop at nothing to get what they want. And then you got Jared Leto, who, his showing of being a sociopathic killer is better than anything he did in Suicide Squad. It's like they took the Joker.
You just have to throw that in there.
Yes, I had to.
He did more than Suicide Squad, Pedro.
That performance in Suicide Squad is unforgivable. They should have taken Jared Leto from The Little Things and put him in Suicide Squad, only make him a little more flamboyant. Because that is a Joker right there. All right? Now, all around, it was a great movie. The suspense was palpable with every scene. And I just couldn't get enough of it.
What about you, Juan? What did you think of this movie?
So before I tell you, I sent y'all a picture on your phones in the group chat. And it's a tweet from one of my favorite movie accounts called Movie Details. And in it says, in The Little Things, released in 2021, after Jimmy makes a call, I noticed the missing person poster on it has a mustache drawn on one of the victims' faces.
Damn.
Like, first off, like that's just like such a nitpick movie detail that I saw, like, that I both appreciate and kind of wonder how the hell did I miss that. But overall, when it comes to the movie itself, I thought it was good. Not great, but good. Had good star power pushing it forward. Jared Leto and Denzel Washington absolutely killing it. I saw this one video that said that whenever Denzel Washington is in a role, everyone says that he's not doing that well in the role because he's always playing himself. But when you really think about it, if every role you ever see Denzel in he's playing himself, and it's a different array of roles, then he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's losing himself in the character. He's becoming who he's supposed to play, and he's doing it so naturally that the audience just believes that that's just him being himself. So first, props off to Denzel for being able to lose himself in this role, for becoming this driven, obsessed cop who is morally dubious and willing to do whatever it takes to try to avenge the one crime he was never able to solve. So kudos to that. Jared Leto, I think, was the true star of this movie. He did an absolute phenomenal job. Conveying.
He got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Exactly, and he just did such a phenomenal job. Such a phenomenal job at playing this sociopathic potential serial killer that you can never really discern whether or not he's the killer. You hope that he is. You want him to be, but you'll never know.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. And with some performances, you can tell immediately, like, oh yeah, that's the killer. Because some actors kind of always give like this little tweak or this little like hint that it is.
Like if that was Joaquin Phoenix, like he was the killer.
Exactly. But Leto just plays it so effectively. It's so mysterious and it's so excruciatingly annoying to figure out that it's probably the best character in the whole movie. I thought Rami Malek kind of came in a little flat in terms of the performance.
He had to play the straight man.
Rami Malek isn't meant to play the straight man. I don't think he is. Like he's always meant to kind of like be like this awkward, kind of in the moment sort of guy. But he does have range with regards to the kind of roles that he can play. He's going to play a Bond villain. He was Freddie Mercury. He played a loser stoner in Larry Crown, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot, like he has great range, but to play a straight man cop, it just doesn't really seem like the kind of thing he can pull off. So
can you do an impression of Rami Malek? I feel like he has this very distinctive like way he talks.
After the whole Freddie Mercury thing, no, I can't.
Okay.
Because
Rami Malek. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like I'd have to watch all of Mr. Robot to get it down. So
yeah, that was a terrible impression.
I'll put that on the list. But anyway, overall, good, not great. I'd give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. It did it was great in suspense, decent plot, but the payoff just wasn't there.
What about you, Jack?
Sorry, I had myself muted for a hot second. I went into this movie thinking there was going to be, I don't know. This movie felt longer overall. It felt longer than it needed to be. I realized a lot of scenes lingered for a lot longer than I felt were needed emotionally, and I didn't start getting interested in the movie until about halfway through, when they started bringing in when Jared Leto's character was actually starting to become part of the fold of the movie. And once
he doesn't pop up to like an hour in. Yeah.
So once they finally got through the Act 1, I suppose it would be, once Act 2 finally started kicking in, it actually felt like the movie was starting to go somewhere. And that's when I started to get engaged with it. And I'm a big sucker for cinematography, and there were a lot of scenes in this movie that were well composed. I love the shots of, like, there's more driving shots than I kind of was expecting from this movie, but there's a chase at one point that Denzel Washington is driving down a highway, and he's trying to tail Jared Leto in his car, and it does this great shot they're driving in the dark, but there's this great shot of going from Denzel's car, driving past the traffic up to Jared Leto's car, and then the camera pans back to show like him in this what is a beautiful car. I didn't have the forethought to look up what model car Jared Leto has during this movie. Beautiful car. And just a lot of the night shots were really in what's the word I'm trying to think of? They're beautiful, for lack of a better term. And there's some cool, I'm a fan of mystery crime and stuff like that, but it just felt, my overall take with this, it felt like it took too long to get to where it wound up being. And I enjoyed most of the story. I just felt that it could have picked up the pace a little bit in the beginning.
Okay. I pretty much agree with all you guys. I thought it was good, not great. Definitely. If these three actors weren't in it, this movie I feel like would have been like way down. Remember, Jack? Remember we were talking about Hurricane Heist, and I was like, "Oh, this is like a Tuesday night movie for me."
Yes.
This is a Tuesday night movie for me. I'm like, "Oh, Denzel's in a new movie. Let's watch this." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that was pretty cool."
I think this is more like a Wednesday night. Like there's more appeal and star power to it.
This movie feels like, you know how, I don't know how many of you guys watch cable anymore, but you know how FX puts on like the same couple movies, but they're like, they're still like good movies, but because they get played so often on TV, they kind of just lose. They lose
their luster a little bit. Yeah,
that's
what like I still have cable, so like I know exactly what you mean. Like,
so I feel like this is a movie that would be on FX. Like you'd be flipping through the channels. It's 7 o'clock.
You're like, oh, the little things is on. All right,
Yeah, and you're
cool.
like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I like this movie. I'll watch it. It's halfway through. Thank God, I can't sit through the first.
Let me ask you guys, what's that one movie that was always consistently playing, no matter what channel you went on throughout your childhood, you kind of remember as like nostalgic to this day?
One of them was probably Austin Powers. I remember that
Chopped?
playing a lot.
Okay.
Adam
Austin
Sandler
Powers.
movies, like the old ones. Those are always on.
For me, I'd have to go with Transformers.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was on a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Recently,
for me,
I've
like
noticed it's the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like the first few Marvel movies, not like the most recent ones, but like very often I feel they put on the Captain America movies, the second or third Iron Man, and the first two Avengers movies. I feel like those are always on.
so long as it's not the second Thor, I'm okay with that.
I don't think anyone
right.
wants to voluntarily watch that movie.
Hold on, guys. Something's calling me.
Something.
So keep discussing.
I will. You know what? I could talk about Mandalorian. So
But wait, okay.
Wait.
Wait. Also, forgive me for being so slow with picking up with the Office. This job interview process has just been fucking crazy and draining me. I haven't had time to do much.
dude, if Mandalorian wasn't 30 minutes each, I probably would still be watching it now. But it's only by happenstance that episodes are short that I was able to catch up within, what is it, like 2 days?
Yeah.
So
No, man, I know. Like, I also got like a bunch of shows on the back burner too, but I promised myself I'd finish The Office first, and then I'd go into Bob's Burgers, and then after Bob's Burgers, it's a crapshoot.
yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
I guess I'll talk about my experience with Mandalorian
Go
real
for it,
quick
yeah.
until c.bo comes back. So I didn't want to go into a crazy in-depth review of it because everyone's been talking about the Mandalorian, it feels like, and everyone's got a hot take about the Mandalorian, and a lot at the end of the day, a lot of my opinions do reflect on other people's opinions of how I feel about the Mandalorian. I think the show is well written. I think I think the cast is great or was great at this point in time. Uh, I love that they decided to go and use practical effects along with the projection stuff. Bro, I'm trying to give my Mando review here.
All right. No, sorry. My aunt was knocking. She.
Finish it!
What?
Sorry, wait, that was your aunt?
Yeah, that was my aunt. Yeah. I just kind of told her off. Like, yeah, everyone's busy. I'm doing something.
Anyway,
So you were talking about Mando, Jack?
I was.
My bad.
No worries. I'm trying to think of where I left off. Oh, I thought the practical effects were really solid, and I loved how they incorporated it with the new technology of doing the Unreal projections and stuff. I am excited to see where the series goes, although it seems like I don't know. Like I wasn't super animated about watching Mandalorian until the podcast had convinced me to watch the Mandalorian. So it's not my feelings with Star Wars are very strange in that I don't hate Star Wars. It doesn't it's not engaging as I used to be with it. Like I used to, drop everything for Star Wars, and now it seems I guess it might just be from growing up or being more of a fantasy goer when it comes to fiction and stuff like that. So I think maybe that's part of it. But The Mandalorian was a ton of fun, and it really did feel like a fresh take on a bunch of previous Star Wars stories that I wish more mainstream movies took the approach that The Mandalorian did in terms of who they're telling the stories about and what those characters' journeys are, because I've had enough of space wizards, really. I want to see the average Joe's life in the world of Star Wars. I want to see if we can get what's it called? Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars. If we can get like a Top Gun style movie about just
Bro,
rebel
that's the
starfighters and
movie Patty
stuff.
Jenkins is making.
Is she? Wait, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's literally
damn.
called Rogue Squadron.
Okay. Well, if it's like Top Gun, I'll watch that. But I'm excited to see this. Having watched Mando has made me has kind of I wouldn't say reinvigorated because I feel like that's giving it a little too much credit. It has made me interested in Star Wars again. So I might jump back into the Clone Wars just because Clone Wars characters were in Mandalorian, and I might be inclined to possibly keep my Disney Plus subscription just to see where things go. But I know I gotta watch WandaVision too, so I'll watch that today. Get all caught up. But overall, I really like The Mandalorian. I have no idea where they plan on taking the rest of these characters in particular, but I hope they seem to be in capable hands.
Let me ask you a question, Jack. Did you enjoy like seeing Boba Fett come back?
I did. I think them fixing what happens with Boba Fett is what I feel that's what older Star Wars fans wanted, because in other Star Wars media that isn't canonical according to Disney, like in offshoot comics and stuff like that, there's a ton of stories about Boba Fett pre the movies and post the movies that make him into a total badass. And finally, the Mandalorian comes out and they bring him back into it, and he is a badass. Like he took out all those stormtroopers with one shot. Like for in case I'm not explaining it properly, there's the scene where Mando meets Boba Fett for the first time, and Boba gets his armor back, and they get attacked by stormtroopers, and then they try to escape in two transports, and Boba Fett shoots his backpack rocket at one of them, and it blows up its engine, and it teeters into the other one, and they both explode, and it's the coolest thing ever. I'm like, whoa, what? This Boba Fett is so competent. What happened? But like, that's the Boba Fett that I feel like a lot of people wanted in the first place, but they never got that chance to because Disney gets the properties, and then they retcon all the old written media for Star Wars, and then George Lucas made the prequel, so it was like we're never going to see Boba again. So I don't know. I think it was really
like
cool
a
to have
cameo
Boba Fett.
of Boba in episode 2.
Yeah, Boba's in episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, isn't really Boba Fett,
It's the beginning of Boba Fett.
Yeah, but he's there. He's probably got a total screen time of maybe 5 minutes.
So, I got another question to ask. Did you watch like the Clone Wars show?
Yes, I did. So I watched the Clone Wars show, but back when it was first being released, like on a weekly basis or daily basis or whatever the schedule was in the past. And that show came out roughly, I want to say
It was like, oh wait,
10, yeah, so a little more than 10 years ago. So that was the last time I saw it. So now having seen The Mandalorian and having recognized the people from the Clone Wars, I want to go back into the Clone Wars and see if I can, half for nostalgia and half for if they're as good as I remember them being, which a lot of people say that it is. So
Clone Wars is amazing. Its beginnings aren't the best, but it gets so much better as it goes along, and the final arc is some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Which did you like Ahsoka?
I did. I'm glad that's another character that I appreciated they brought in, and Bo-Katan. I thought that was really cool as well. Like, who's leading Star Wars right now? It's John.
It's like both of them. It's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. It's like those two.
They're leaving or they're leading.
They're like the leaders.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not going anywhere. It feels like these are two nerds with like doing what they've always wanted to do. Like they're making they're making Star Wars in the sense, and their other properties that they get to work on. They get to make the things that they've always wanted to see, and they have the same, maybe not the same ideas as a lot of the people watching it, but like they have a love for all of the media that they're trying to make. So getting the chance to see them give respect to these other great shows and stuff in The Mandalorian is very nice. I really appreciate it from a audience standpoint, and I also appreciate it from a Star Wars standpoint.
Whenever I see Favreau in any of his old works, I always just say, "Oh my God!" Like that dude, the dude playing the angry middle linebacker in The Replacements, or the chef in Chopped, or this character or that. Like I always say, that guy is responsible for saving the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or starting the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and saving Star Wars essentially.
You should watch Swingers. That's like his first. That's like his first like big movie.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. It's like the first time people are like, "Whoa, Jon Favreau."
Whoa.
So and he was also in Friends as well. He was one of Courtney Cox's boyfriends.
Yeah, he was.
That is so weird.
Yeah. So are you interested in watching the future projects? Like, there's the Book of Boba Fett, there's an Ahsoka show, and there's other stuff. Yeah.
Bad Batch.
That was my question. So since you guys know a little more Star Wars in terms of like what Disney Plus plans on doing with the property, is this it for The Mandalorian? Like we're not
no, there's a season 3 coming out, but
okay.
The Boba Fett show is coming out first.
Okay.
Because Favreau's working on that as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's another series that's in the works, but now that one of the lead characters was let go, I don't know how it's going to continue.
Can we talk about that?
Oh yeah, that.
Let's talk about that.
All right, so there's a character from The Mandalorian that is not going to be in The Mandalorian anymore going forward, and she was in talks to get her own spinoff, but that ain't happening anymore, and that is the infamous now Gina Carano.
Would you say she's infamous?
Now she is. The notorious.
Fair enough. So she played oh my gosh, I keep forgetting her character's name. Cara Dune. I keep thinking her name in the show is a reference to a planet, so I keep thinking like whenever I heard them say Cara Dune, I'm like, oh, I don't remember them going to that planet. Huh, that's so weird. But no, to talk about the character. And she was really cool in the show. So it's disappointing to see that Lucasfilm is dropping her and never planning on doing more work with her in the future. I'm disappointed in terms of like story wise. I enjoyed Cara Dune in the show, and I thought she was the actor portraying her. I thought she was a lot of fun, and I felt like she really fit the role. So having to see her leave is frustrating, but Disney has an image they have to keep up, but then there's people saying that, well, she said things, but also Pedro Pascal said things, so why is she being fired and not Pedro Pascal? So there's like a lot of this comes from Twitter, so I'd call it like a lot of dumpster fire stuff going on right now.
Wait, what did Pedro Pascal say?
Well, they reference one of his tweets of him using the hashtag "This is America" and posting a picture of like the Holocaust, and saying, "Why is Cara?" I almost called her Cara Dune, but that's not her real name. Like, why is she being fired for what she said about her tweets versus Pedro Pascal and his opinions about America that he tweeted? And like I'm just saying what I've heard, and that's why I'm calling it a dumpster fire, because it's just one of those things where people are trying to defend opinions about things, and there's no like it's not really an argument. Like, she said some things, she said something, she said a lot of things over Twitter that are not, that people don't necessarily agree with. And Pedro Pascal has said things on on Twitter that people don't necessarily agree with, but people are saying there's a gender bias, and like some people are saying Disney's just being, protective or whatever. But overall, this is kind of one of the reasons why I sort of stopped reading into it, is because it just gets into a he said, she said, defending of, like, there's no real arguments here, I feel.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, just for context, the post that Jack was referring to from Pascal is a side-by-side photo comparison of Germany in 1944 with a bunch of, like, Jewish children in a concentration camp behind barbed wire, and underneath it is a picture of children in custody by ICE when they were taking children away from parents and separating them and putting them into these, like, camps. For kids that were, like, being brought to the U.S. illegally. So that's what he was making the comparison contrast to. So yeah, like, and just as, like, Kara was being attacked by people from the left, Pedro's being attacked from people from the right. So it's like, it's kind of like both are really controversial figures.
But let me just say this: that was only one time, though, right?
Yeah.
And
from the stuff that I have read, that is the main thing that people are using against Pedro Pascal. But I'm sure if you gave them enough time, they'll find something. They'll find something else, I'm sure.
But, like, Gina she continued to egg on and on and on. And I'm sure she was warned multiple times and got multiple warnings. Hey, you should chill out a little bit,
She's had some interesting, I'll call them interesting, opinions about vaccinations, the election. She had that one Twitter spat about the pronouns, which I'm not going to go into the details of it. If people are super interested in any of those scandals, they can find more. They can find more on the internet. They're really easy to find, specifically because
with people
it's recent news.
Qualified opinions,
Yeah, but, like, she's been hit with multiple, like, polarizing statements that she's made, and while some might be jokes and some might be actual feelings that she has, overall, it's the internet is very vocal when it comes to their opinions about what people are, how people feel about other people's opinions. So I don't see, I feel that having Disney made this move was probably was gonna happen at some point, but I just think people are frustrated because a lot of people really like her for the character that she portrays, but also because of who she is and, the role model she is for people because of her character in the show. And people are frustrated that Disney's going to take that away. So and that's, I don't know. Someone else talk about this. I don't want to take over the conversation.
Come on, what do you think about all this?
So I never agreed with what Gina was doing online, but I respected her right to voice her opinions on a lot of it. Anti-vax stuff, anti-mask stuff, a bunch of conservative approaches that she took to a lot of subjects, even where she was, like, making fun of the LGBTQ community, allegedly, by posting beep boop bop as her gender identifier in her bio when they had asked her to put her she pronoun identifier in order to show allegiance with the trans community. And for that, I was sort of okay with letting her voice that, because that's an opinion. It's a discerning opinion. Not everyone agrees with it, but it's an opinion nonetheless. All right, and you can agree with it. You can choose not to agree with it. Whatever. She has a right to voice those opinions as much as anybody else. However, when she started comparing her plight, quote unquote, and saying that Republicans are being persecuted like the Jews, the Jewish people, during the Holocaust, that's where the line was crossed for me. I felt like she went too far. That she was trying to play the role of victim.
She's just trying to get a rise out of people.
Get a rise out of people and garner sympathy for who she is and what she represents. And I thought that was not only insensitive to a disenfranchised community that had suffered hundreds of thousands of years of mistreatment and discrimination, but it's also just like so. It was just so. It infuriated me. It really made me mad. You know, you are basically trying to take the pain that an entire religion, an entire culture had endured throughout generations upon generations of people, and try to compare it to the fact that your opinions are being disliked by the other side. I just wasn't cool with that. You know, I hate people who try to make themselves the victim and even go into the worst case scenario to do so. I didn't think she deserved to be fired, but it just really made me mad that she would go that far into doing it. So,
well, I think also she probably pissed off her castmates and crew as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, sure, like maybe she didn't deserve to be fired, but if the crew you work with it doesn't want to work with her and are dissatisfied with her, I mean, you kind of put in a position where you're like, you know, we want a great, you know, Mando's the hottest show on TV right now. It's one of the most valuable properties. It's like, and if something's gonna bring it down, then we got to get rid of it. You know, that's just a business decision.
But here's the thing. Did any of her cast members, did any of her co-stars come out and say they were offended or hurt by what she was saying?
As of right now, no.
Then, honestly,
but I'm just I'm just saying that. Yeah, I'm not speaking for them, but you know, maybe that was also another case as well. You know, you got to think about that because you know Disney and their PR, you know, they have the best PR team on the planet. You know,
there's a part of me that thinks that they'll do that the same thing that happened with what's the name, the director of Guardians?
Yeah, him.
I think
James Gunn.
I think like what they did to the James Gunn, I think they'll probably bring him back afterwards because of fan popularity. Not to mention, a lot of people have already started canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions. So,
and I mean, they literally just announced that Disney Plus has 90 subscribers, 90 million, not 90 subscribers, 90 million subscribers. Yeah, I think Disney's bathing and crying like in their money right now. What?
A whole 90 people like this app.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like the Disney Plus app?
No, 90 million people are subscribed to Disney Plus now. Second only to Netflix, which is just insane because Disney Plus only came out less than 2 years ago now.
The power of the mouse.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I said, like I think they'll end up bringing her back, maybe probably like as in a revival arc, sort of, just for like to really like milk that fanboy dollar, to say the least. Like get more subscriptions and get more people back on it, because there will be a dip in viewership. Like it's surprising that you know the conservative side of the social media can have a certain amount of influence and power in what goes on with regular media. So I wouldn't be surprised if Disney finds a way to bring her back.
What was I about to say? Well, with James Gunn, he actually like showed remorse and like he like has apologized many times about what he's done in the past. Gina looks very unapologetic about what she's done, and if you've like seen some news, she's like making a movie with some very conservative news source. So looks like she's very unapologetic for what Newswire is it Newswire? Yeah.
Newswire, I don't think it's conservative.
Well, like I think Ben Shapiro's involved with it as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ben Shapiro teaming up for film after Mandalorian firing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I think she's made a statement, and she doesn't seem to feel sorry about it at all.
Oh, the Daily Wire.
Yeah, the Daily Wire. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad. My bad to the Newswire.
All right. Yeah. Pedro, what do you think of the Gina Carano firing?
I don't think she should have been fired, but she should have been disciplined, or at least give out a statement about her action, the reason behind her actions. Like, Disney jumped the gun in firing her, and people are up in arms about it. Just because, like with the whole Pedro Pascal situation, like you can't really compare the two. I don't know what the reason Pedro Pascal, why he did that, but I do know that Gina was kind of taking it to the extreme. She took a stance, and then she kind of she just pushed it too far, in my opinion. And that's all I gotta say.
And yeah, I just want to add to this. It's like, if you get hired by Disney, I said this to Jack at work, you got to be you're held to a certain standard. If that's your employer, there's a certain way you got to act and hold yourself in public. No one's saying she doesn't have the right to believe the things she does. Everyone has the right to believe the things they do. But if you're acting a fool and saying some crazy things on social media, they're gonna see it, and they have the right to say, I don't like what you said. You can't participate in that anymore. Juan, you know this as well. Like, you want to be part of a major network. You want to be the face of a show. What if they saw you acting a fool somewhere on social media? What are they gonna do?
They're gonna fire my ass.
Exactly. What if you work for ESPN, Disney, and you were acting a fool?
I'd probably get blackballed from the industry.
Exactly. Sometimes, look, yeah, maybe it's unfair. Maybe you don't agree with it, but you got to read the room. You got to know who you work for. And I don't feel sorry for her, because you know what? She got paid Disney money. She's on she's on the biggest show on the planet, and she ruins it for herself. And she was probably going to get a spinoff as well. And she ruined it for herself because she was an idiot. So I don't feel bad for her at all.
I just feel like she could have taken it a different direction.
Exactly, yeah. Like you're getting Disney paychecks and you ruined it for yourself. That can't be me. That literally cannot be me, and will never be me. Like, if I ever got the chance to work for Disney.
Like I said, like I always say to my brother whenever it comes to stuff like this, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you did it, and you got canned.
Exactly.
I thought you were going into another Christopher Walken impression with that.
For a second, it sounded like Christopher Walken.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you did it.
So, we started talking about The Mandalorian, but c.bo, when you left, were we going to talk about what movie we wanted to watch next week, or what did you want to talk about a movie next week?
Yeah, Pedro, you want to watch Pan's Labyrinth, right?
Yeah, but I change your heart about it.
Why?
Hey, never mind then.
I'm sorry.
That was so emphatic. Why?
I didn't realize, I had the only things in my room right now are my bed, my brother's bed, and a desk. So everything is echoing. so why don't you want to watch Pan's Labyrinth anymore? I just like if you can't tell, I like Pan's Labyrinth. So
I got excited for the whole Justice League thing until I realized it's the trailer that drops, not the movie.
Wait, the trailer is the thing that drops in?
No, we're saying that the official Snyder Cut trailer, full-length trailer, is going to be out on Sunday.
I don't care about a trailer. I want to see the movie.
Yeah, actually, that's why.
And Pedro got emotional after seeing the Dark Side teaser that just came out today, which was, he looks incredible.
Yeah, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
Teaser? What?
Sorry, I'm a DC fan. This is very big for me.
Yeah, this is big for all of us, man. But yeah.
Let's do that Pan's Labyrinth, definitely.
All right, Pan's Labyrinth. It's on Netflix, I believe, right?
Yep.
Oh,
All right, cool,
gosh.
easy. All right, Pan's Labyrinth for next time.
So about the dark side reveal that we were talking about just a second ago, I've been hearing things saying that this isn't technically dark side. This is dark side pre anti-life equation, but I forget what
He's
his
like
name.
very. This is like a very like young and raw dark side. Like
I don't know
Dark
if I
side
like the term
or
young and
King
raw.
side.
Is this him?
yeah, but in that trailer we just watched, he looks a lot more. He looks a lot more like the dark side we know and love, and I'm just wondering like, what the hell is this movie gonna be, man? It's just 4 hours of unhinged Zack Snyder, and I couldn't be more excited because I told you guys before, but I'm making a video series on the DCU, and I'm rewatching DCU movies now. That's part of the reason why I want to take off next week, because I gotta watch all these movies. And I just rewatched Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And let me just tell you, those movies are just they're top notch for me. I feel like and like I'm on a Snyder high, and like I cannot wait. And I cannot wait what he brings to his true version of Justice League that should have came out in 2017, and not the shit that we watched.
I mean, it was a movie. But are
I
you
feel
guys
like once we watch the Snyder Cut, we're gonna be like, wow, we really got robbed. Like they really just sat on that and just said, nah, this version's better. Let's release that.
Are you guys gonna sit through the full 4 hours, or are you guys
am.
gonna break it up? I'm curious because people were complaining about how which one was it when it first came out? Was it Endgame or was it Infinity War when they were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be 4 hours long," and people were like, I'm never gonna be able to sit through that. That's so long." Are you guys gonna watch all 4 hours in one sitting? Are you gonna break it up into 4 1-hour watching? Are you are you gonna do it half and half?
I'll break it up.
I'm gonna go all at once.
Yeah, me too. I'm going in raw, baby.
You people are insane.
What's with the raw stuff? c.bo, why are you so raw?
I'm raw.
Who rubbed
baby.
you the wrong way?
But yeah, I'm already Jack. I'm already planning to take a day off of work and just so I will just watch this in peace in my house when I wake up in the morning of March 18th and just let it take me on a journey.
Take me.
I'm going zero dark 30 too. Like I'm gonna turn off my phone. I don't want any social media reactions. I don't want any of those critics saying how bad it was. I'm gonna see it for myself. You guys won't hear from me until I've come out the other side.
Wait a second. Is it coming out March 18th or February 18th?
March 18th.
Okay. It's very strange. Fun fact. February and March have the exact same date layout. So Thursday, February 18th is the same time that March 18th is. So weird fun fact.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had a podcast next week so we can break down this whole trailer, but we can break it down in 2 weeks.
I mean, you could always throw up just a trailer breakdown thing if that's what you wanted to do.
We'll see. Kind of want to talk about it with you guys too, so.
Well, that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be the full pod. Like, it doesn't have to be a full hour-long shtick. It could be like a 20-minute shtick.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how crazy this trailer is when it comes out on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, why you're gonna watch it in pieces, like in 4 1-hour increments?
Y'all know I don't have time.
It'd be like 4 episodes. That was the original plan, but Snyder's like, nah, screw it. We're doing all 4 hours.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. And you know what's crazy? Like I'm on a Snyder high right now after watching Man of Steel and BVS, but I'm gonna after this podcast, I'm gonna be putting on Suicide Squad since I'm marathoning all those movies.
When does Suicide Squad 2 come out again?
That comes out later this year, but that's gonna be. It already looks so much better than whatever we got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, we're excited for the Snyder Cut trailer and the movie. So and yeah, but I guess since we're going off of Mandalorian, another thing happened to another actor who got cast in a very huge project for HBO, and that is Pedro Pascal has officially been cast as Joel, and that the actress of Lyanna Mormont from Game of Thrones, who's this really bratty, sassy girl, got cast as Ellie, and I gotta say, this is perfect casting. I didn't know these people were even being considered. I was saying Gerard Butler and whatever, but now we got Pedro, and I'm like, that's perfect. He looks like him, and he is a great actor. So I'm like, yes, this makes sense. Give it to me now, please. What about you guys? What do you guys think of the casting for Last of Us?
I can't really comment on Last of Us. I've never really played the game before. So I'm just gonna let whoever is a true fan of the series let it all out.
Oh, sorry.
Nope. We'll say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Great casting choice.
It is a great casting choice. Like, for one, like, I just hope that if they make a future,
I know what you're gonna say.
That they retcon The Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2 is great. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not here to talk about the good or badness of The Last of Us 2. We're here to talk about the casting choices they made for this. It's a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show.
And it is going to focus on the first game.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, Joel and Ellie are in it, so yeah.
I just didn't know if they were doing offshoot stuff or alternate reality. Like, it is The Last of Us, but it's like the Game of Thrones thing where they share something for the first 2 hours and then they diverge into their own timelines, sort of thing. So, either way, if it does follow the events of The Last of Us 1, I cannot wait to see Pedro Pascal freaking kick ass and clicker. I thought I had a rhyme going, but it kind of just dwindled off. I'm really excited to see what they do for the clickers and stuff, because
yes,
those
the
guys
makeup's
are
gonna be insane.
But that's my worry, is if they're gonna go with makeup, or are they just gonna do CG replacements and just have those guys in instead of having actual prosthetic,
What about Benicio del Toro style prosthetics?
But here's the thing: Benicio del Toro is an incredible, and wait, yeah, sorry, my brain is struggling right now.
You mean Guillermo del Toro?
Yes, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah. Pedro said, Benicio del Toro's an actor. Guillermo, you were talking about.
Sorry.
Yeah. Whoa. Thank you for doing that. So
Sorry.
Guillermo del Toro's style of creature design is one of my favorite, which is why I like Pan's Labyrinth so much, is because fucking this man knows that practical effects can be super engaging, and he takes the time, and he makes it work at the end of the day, no matter what it's got to be, and it's just so good. Doug Jones, my gosh, I love it. But I feel like in order to get that kind of a quality, things are gonna be sacrificed, especially because of you know what, I'm retconning myself as I'm saying these things, because The Walking Dead's been on on TV for freaking 10 seasons, 11 seasons, whatever season they're on right now, and from start to finish, the zombies in that show were incredible. So maybe they can pull it off with prosthetics. I would like for them to try, at least pull the trigger and try to make it work.
I think they'll make it work, because, like you said, they pulled it off in The Walking Dead. Say what you want about the quality of Walking Dead. A lot has been said about that. But the makeup is incredible in that show.
Yeah.
And some of the funkier zombies, when they're burned and stuff like that, it looks insane.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they do make it more practical than just having fully CG heads. I can picture what they did for the Demogorgons, but like just on a person. Like they just CG the head away.
That's the one thing with Stranger Things that disappoints me, that they don't use practical effects.
How wild would that show have been if they decided to pull, like if they did the stuff like, have you seen John Carpenter's The Thing?
Yes.
If they took that approach with the Demogorgons, woo-wee, oof, oof,
I would probably shit my pants.
oof.
That would give me nightmares and distrust issues.
I would never sleep again, but it would be so worth it.
I don't know why they didn't, and it kind of go against the values of the show, because the Stranger Things is paying so much homage to the 80s, and the 80s used practical makeup for the movies they are inspired by, but they're like, CGI? Yeah, we're gonna do that.
I think it was more so just because they wanted the setting and less. It felt like at that point they just wanted to have this crazy.
Do you think
creature.
they sacrificed? They just wanted to recreate the setting more than they did the creatures?
I think more so it could have been just a budgetary thing. I know a lot of times when it comes down to adding CG characters to any production, if they don't have enough money to support the process that goes into properly compositing being the biggest issue, but at the same time it could have been any part of the pipeline. Like the second they start to skimp out on some budget stuff, the thing starts to suffer. So
I mean, like,
I could totally see it being the studios believing, or not even the studios, but like the producers believing that it would be a cheaper option to go with CG while still getting the same point across, and them kind of undercutting the value that CG brings to the show. And it starts to make things look a little goofy and a little wonky and that kind of stuff.
I'm just saying, like, maybe that could have been like true for the first season, but like, it's been 3 seasons now, and the show is the most popular show on Netflix. Don't you think maybe the creators could be like, hey, give us a bigger budget, man?
Isn't Netflix also bankrupt?
Well, that's the thing. They have that in order to stay afloat,
in
they gotta
perpetual
release
state of bankruptcy.
literally
They're like the United
everything.
States.
What?
I said they're like the United States, just constantly in debt.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, but yeah, I get what you're saying, Jack. It's just like sometimes it just really stands out. Like they're doing so many things and recreating so many things, but it's just that it's just like they still haven't gotten it right. I feel like
it's their afterthought. That's what. That's why a lot of TV CG looks poor, is because most of their budget has to go towards cast and the crew and sets and that stuff before it goes to the CG department. But
yeah,
the Mandalorian changed that because they made like a reusable set, and they used practical stuff and then supplemented everything together. But
do you see that screen?
Also...
It's insane. Like they just changed locations on command, and and the lighting is like natural, so they don't have to worry about that. And they just put like little things on the set to make it blend in with the environment to make it look seamless. It's insane. Like,
yeah, I love it. I had this talk with one of our coworkers about how I'm excited to see where this technology goes and how it changes it makes everything in the past couple of years has made creating movies and like just coming up with ideas for stories. It's made everything so much more accessible, and now we don't have to fly and scout out locations. If you don't want to, there's the option to do it digitally and in such a way where no one will know. No one will really know unless you're familiar with the software and stuff.
Yeah, I hear right now it's still very expensive, but I feel like once it gets like more publicly available and like indie studios can start doing it, like A24, like can you imagine that?
I can. Give it maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
But on our original point of this was not Pan's Labyrinth. Was the
But it
The
was
Last of Us.
the Last of Us. Yeah, we were talking about how hope like what we hope to see with the clickers.
Yes, I hope they're good. That's really it.
Yeah,
End
yeah.
of story.
It just made us go on a tangent of the possibilities. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to utilize some of that technology too.
Can we just talk about how like studios are finally now starting to take video game movies more seriously? Like,
can we talk about how video game movies aren't made by the same director every year now? Because that's nice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's not Uwe Boll or the Resident Evil director.
yeah, it's nice that other more competent people are making video game movies, and they're doing it in a way that makes it work for a movie and not for, like just trying to straightly adapt. Like we're gonna take Lara Croft and just put her in a movie.
I defend that latest Tomb Raider movie. I actually kind of liked it. And Angelina Jolie ones are not bad either.
Yeah, but are they Tomb Raider movies?
No, not.
It's like a debatable thing.
They're fun, cheesy action movies.
Yeah, but now they don't have to be cheesy, is what I'm trying to say.
Have you heard about this latest Borderlands movie?
Yeah, and how Jack Black is going to play Claptrap? It's going to be amazing.
And Kate Blanchett is in it, and Jamie Lee Curtis, and Kevin Hart is in it.
Oh yeah.
What the hell?
Borderlands is an incredible. Okay, I'm fanboying here for a second. Borderlands is hilarious. So some people argue it's not well written. I argue it's well written and it's funny and it's a lot of fun to have. And the characters are engaging. Sure, the overall story might be sometimes meh, but the characters have a lot of charm, and it comes down to who they cast with those characters. If they plan on casting these people, they have them for a very specific reason, and more often than not, I don't know. I'm freaking excited to see this Borderlands movie. I'll pay to see that for sure.
Yeah, it's written by the guy who wrote Chernobyl and is also writing The Last of Us. So looks like video game movies, man. They're good. They're on the rise.
Here we are. Here we go.
I feel like, the last 10 years were comic book movies, but I feel like video game movies might be the next big thing because there's so much potential with video games and like their stories and their lore. It's just like once they get it right, once there's like a little formula that people can be like, oh, okay, we can do this now. I feel like we're gonna be seeing a lot more of them because like, The Last of Us is in the work. There's a Super Mario movie that's coming out in a few years by the studio behind Despicable Me and all that. And it's like I feel like if a Mario movie gets it right, we're gonna see a lot of them now.
Yeah, but it got it so wrong the first time.
Well, it was a different time. Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing.
It still happened.
It still happened, but it's a learning. Like you learn from it.
Mario, and your name Luigi Mario.
Was that Christopher Walken?
No, that's a quote from the movie.
I've never seen that movie. I do want to see it. Like I just want to get inebriated and watch it.
Yeah, no, that's how you have to watch it because that movie.
Do you guys have anything to say regarding video game movies and their potential once they get it right?
I think all that had to be said has been said.
What about you, Juan?
6 Assassin's Creed, dear God.
It had, you know what? I will say
Assassin's Creed was not bad.
I wanted it to be good.
It's just it needed to be better.
It did. They had a cool cast, but it couldn't save the movie.
I just feel like they skimped on the budget. Like, how the hell are you gonna make an Assassin's Creed movie and make it outside the Animus? That perplexes me. Like, people don't buy Assassin's Creed for the Animus outside the Animus lore. Yeah, it is cool, but it's not what we came for. What?
People used to. The first games with Desmond and going through the stuff as.
But what's most of your playtime as?
Sure, yeah, you can make the argument that most of your playtime is as the assassin, but the what the first few games had going for it for a little bit was that mystery of there's still a person going into the past and figuring out their memories of their ancestors to solve this overarching mystery of the present and possibly the future. It was a really interesting concept, and then Ubisoft just decided to kind of goof that all up, and then in trying to scramble to fix everything, they're like, you know what? We're just gonna get rid of all that in-person stuff. We're just gonna stick you in this world, and we're just gonna not even talk about like the story and the lore that we tried to develop in the first 3 to 4 games. It's fine. Just forget about it. Just go back in time. We're going back in time. You're in France now. Oh shit, that game didn't work. We're going to Greece, and we're going to ancient Egypt, and we're going to Denmark or the UK.
No, it's
wherever
Norway.
you are. Norway.
Yeah. Did you play that game, the new one?
No, I want to. I really do. It looks like a lot of fun.
All right. Well, it looks like we're at the end of the podcast, unless we had something else to talk about, because it seemed like there was a lot of news that happened within like 3 hours in one day.
Honestly, I'm good.
Pedro, any hot takes on your mind?
Not at the moment.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, I guess this is the end. Talked about a lot, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're taking a week break. I gotta watch these DC movies, man. We're gonna watch Suicide Squad once I log off.
Happy Platonic Relationship Appreciation Day.
Yes, that too. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to anyone who's spending with their loved ones. Yes.
Love yourself and love the people that are in your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be romantic.
No.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
Love.
You guys are my Valentines.
Thanks, man. You're my Valentines too.
Oh shit. Damn. So wholesome. Juan, you have your own Valentine. You're not involved. It's just the guys.
Why does everyone hate me?
Because I found my Juan and only. Oh, look at me.
You're the one that said it, not me.
You said one and only, and I said no. You're wrong. It's Juan and only.
Yeah, and now you're the one that made the pun, and now you're mad at the pun?
No, I'm mad at you for being happy. Anyway.
All right, guys. We'll be back later.
Later.
Peace. You never see it coming. To be dinner and right. God,